first tee of Washington, D.C. began in the winter of 2000 on a shoestring budget and big dreams of impacting all of the young people in the District of Columbia by providing free access to golf courses and to golf instruction.
Well, the first folks involved with the first tee of Washington, D.C. actually were from the D.C. Rotary. And the chairman, in fact, of our chapter was Conrad Posey, and Chuck Lawrence, John Prominsky, Henry Kerfoot, all outstanding gentlemen who led our board.
I don't think there can be a better example of how the first tee works nationwide than here in the District of Columbia.
We set some very high goals for ourselves when we started the program, when we started really growing the program.
We started over at Langston in 2006, and we literally had one computer, like a personal desktop printer, no internet. We weren't using email addresses at that point. No heat or air conditioning, no HVAC. Remember the AstroTurf carpeting?
There's definitely been some challenges across the years.
The dedication and commitment of the board of directors, from the inaugural board who had the vision to get this done and started at Langston and East Potomac, to our 2005, President Bill Scott.
And I knew about the first tee. I knew about it from its television advertisements. I knew about it just because I was involved with golf.
I'd gotten to know Bill Scott in 2001. We were getting ready for the 2003 U.S. Junior Amateur. And we'd worked together on that project. And then when he was asked to come and chair the first tee, he called a few of what he called his golfing Marines.
In 2003, I ran the United States Golf Association's Junior Amateur Championship at Columbia, and it was a good success. And what I learned then was the only way to make one of these things really work, which I should have known for being a lawyer for all this time, is get good people.
John Coleman, John Garner, George Dill really have been around since the very beginning of our program.
I've been in the first tee for about 9.5 years. I had golf teams for about 20. And didn't really play the game that often, but I was bringing kids down here to East Potomac, and I knew Kim quite well. And so when I retired, she sort of asked me that, gee, it would be nice to have some help at Langston with the first tee. And I said I'd be glad to give them some help, and I've been with them ever since, and it's been incredibly enjoyable.
The value system that the first tee has, we are able to teach the kids along with teaching the game of golf.
It is so important that golf teaches these important lessons, because most of golf, as you well know, translates into life. Life skills are great. Our kids will now understand what it means to be courteous to someone. They would know what it means to be a good sport.
The game of golf requires honesty, integrity, sportsmanship. That's almost part of the game. You see golf, you don't see referees out there. No one calls fouls on you. You call fouls on yourself.
Shake someone's hand properly, look them in the eye, be honest, be earnest about things. You don't always get that, and I think we bring that to the table and sort of enhance it a bit.
This past year, our 10th year, we've reached over 10,000 students through our certifying program, our target outreach, doing clinics in the area, and our partnership with the DC Public Schools.
One of the mandates that we gave the staff from a board perspective was that while we're going to grow, we are not going to compromise the quality of the programs that we presented, because we always knew, both based on measurements from the participants as well as our own observations, that we were doing a terrific job with the kids.
The thing I love about being a first tee coach is you get a chance to meet really nice kids. And the kids that we get are from all different backgrounds, they're from all economic levels, they live in all parts of the area, not from just Washington, D.C. And to get to know them and to actually see them progress, and not always golf-wise, you see them progress in other ways.
And it's nice to see that kind of stuff when we have a lot of children that are 10, 12 years old when we both first started. Now they're in high school looking at colleges, and it's definitely a very rewarding experience.
Yeah, we've got, so Maurice joined the Navy. He'll start up in December. Justin Chittum's is out in college, Hawaii?
University of Hawaii.
University of Hawaii. You know, we've got, you know.
And over the next probably 18 months or so, we should graduate a bunch more children into college, which is a real big success for us.
It's making a great impact on the kids. The first skill in particular is perseverance. I'm seeing my kids really just plow through some difficult tasks in school, outside of school. They've been able to just stick to whatever they're involved in, whether it's a homework assignment, studying for a test, out there on the golf course. Perseverance is the first skill that comes to mind.
Well, as golf is the carrot, but education is the key. And I think we started to coin that phrase, if you will, because we felt we needed some vehicle to get the kids more involved and some way to get them there, as an excuse, if you will, to get them on the golf course. But I think golf is the carrot, but education. The key simply means that golf would be a tool that they can actually have in their toolkit, if you will, to move further in the process of education. We get them on the golf course, then we get them in the learning center to make sure that academics are sound as well as golf.
As interesting as the evolution of numbers has been of participants over the past couple of years, has been the changes in our coaching staff.
Jimmy Garver, now I've known Jimmy and Janice for years. I worked with another program before, years ago, and I can't imagine anyone being more helpful and understanding where you're coming from.
I look at the coaches as family to a certain extent. As Selena mentioned, she went to Kansas State with Coach Sean this past summer, and the only other time that Selena traveled with anyone else was another family member. So I felt at ease allowing her to travel to Kansas State with Coach Sean. And they had a great experience. I know they did.
Harry Thomas Jr., what a good guy. And I try to support everything he does. I talk to him quite a bit. He's sort of a DC guy like I am. We grew up in the city. This is what we know. This is where we stay, you know. You do things in a lot of different areas, but it all comes back to, you know, where are you from? What do? You stay in your neighborhood? Do you help folks here? And that's what he does. And I wish him a lot of success, a lot of success.
It's important to recognize that the public face of the First Tee has to do with life skills and golf programs and the national school program and the other things that we do in the community. But we couldn't do it without having a staff, an executive director who really understands what it takes to run a nonprofit.
Obviously, when I got involved, the number of kids we had in the program was a lot less. It grew. And it grew, I can't say because of me, it grew because we had the right people, most important of which was Gretchen. And I'm not trying to, but it was true. We were so dependent on volunteers, and then we had our own person. And when Gretchen came in, we were better organized, we were able to make more contacts. Our in-school program, I think, is wonderful.
It's my hope that golf has a resurgence here in the city, starting with the kids.
We're very grateful to Langston and to East Potomac Park that we can go there and have our classes there, our competition there, our lessons there. But it would be so wonderful if we had our own facility that we could call the First Tee of Washington, D.C.
The First Tee of Washington, D.C. has had an amazing first 10 years. As we look towards our next decade, we have some lofty goals that we will achieve. To continue impacting and inspiring the youth of D.C. through golf, bringing golf to all of the DCPS elementary schools, and to build a 9-hole youth facility at Kenilworth Park. To achieve these goals, we need your help. We sincerely thank you for making the First Tee of Washington, D.C. a top chapter in the country and helping us to put kids on course.
Here's for the next 10 years, first tee.
Well, here's hoping that the next 10 years are every bit as exciting as the first 10.
Thank you, Gretchen. To the next 10.
Thank you, Sean.
The last 10 has been great. The next 10, I am so convinced, is going to be even better. And I think that's wonderful. So for the next 10, God bless the first 10.